Someone on TikTok asked me to make a video about personal project management for non-project managers, specifically content creators with 9 to 5s who aren't executing their ideas. And honestly, truly, this hit home because I am literally that person. Full-time nonprofit work, trying to build my brand, create content, figure out marketing, get back in shape. So instead of just giving you theory, I'm going to show you exactly how I manage these competing priorities without losing my mind. Greetings, good day, and welcome. For those of you who are new here, I'm Deanna. On this channel, we talk about all things project management, nonprofit management, grants, and development. Quick shout out to Hello Corey for today's question. Y'all have seen her on my channel. That's my girl, and she too be pressing me about project management. By the end of this, you'll understand why your side projects keep stalling and have a system to actually finish what you start. To begin, I want us to start with the real reason why side projects fail. Let me just show you guys what I'm currently juggling. Further building out Monroe the Guru as a business, figuring out what marketing for myself exactly means, trying to get my mind and body back into consistent exercise, and maintaining content creation while also working full-time. As you guys can see, Monroe the Guru is already on and popping, but this is so much more than just start a business. I'm talking about updating my website, building client intake systems and forms, figuring out exactly what my pricing and rates look like, in addition to finalizing proposals, contracts, estimates, invoices, all that stuff. That's like 4 different projects right there. Now for marketing, that is genuinely confusing for me because that is something I don't know anything about. I have my business, but to adequately and effectively market it, that's a whole new world for me. And just like many of us, I have been trying to get consistent with my exercising for literally months, probably the majority of this year. I'm not gonna lie. I don't even have to leave my home. I literally do everything via the Peloton app because it has everything that I need. But that's like me paying for a gym membership each month and I'm barely using it. Meanwhile, I still have to create content regularly because consistency matters for growing an audience. But after a full day of nonprofit work, sometimes I just want to zone out. Most people think that the problem is time management. After managing million-dollar projects, I can tell you that's not why side projects fail. I used to think that I just needed to do better with time blocking or that I needed a much more detailed schedule. But when I think back, I had plenty of weekends and evenings where I blocked time for work on business, and instead I spent hours scrolling on TikTok. At work, I'm capable of managing complex grant applications with multiple stakeholders and tight deadlines. So clearly, I know how to manage projects when I need to. The difference is how I approach work projects versus personal projects. At work, everything is scoped, broken down, and has clear deliverables. At home, I'm just going with the flow and winging it. Side projects fail because we're treating them like hobbies instead of like projects. We don't scope them, we don't break them down, and we definitely don't manage our energy. Think about how your job handles new initiatives. There's planning meetings, scope documents, timelines, check-ins. But for personal stuff, we just say things like, I'm gonna start a business, and then expect ourselves to just figure it out. We're literally frying our brains with leaving it to figure out the impossible. When talking about the scope, this means defining what's included, what's not included, and what success looks like. Though this is something that we do at work, most of us skip this step completely when it comes to personal projects. And energy management is totally different from time management. You can have 3 free hours and 0 mental energy to do any strategic thinking. Now, for example, get in shape is not a project. That's just a vague life goal. But complete a 30-day workout challenge, that is something that we can manage. Get in shape could literally mean anything. Are we trying to lose weight, build muscle, run a 5K? Your brain doesn't know what to do with that, and this is where we get stuck. But complete a 30-day workout challenge is specific. We know exactly when it starts, when it ends, and what success looks like. The same thing goes with business stuff. Start a business is overwhelming. Create and launch one digital service offering by the end of next month. With that, we have something concrete to work towards. You feel me? Now that we know the reason, let's talk about how to tackle this problem with project scoping and making your vague ideas actionable. First and foremost, we're going to turn those vague ideas into actual projects. Take my goal of figure out marketing. That's way too broad. But create a 30-day content calendar for Monroe the Guru. Now, I have something specific. Now, for much longer than I like to admit, the figure out marketing used to paralyze me because there was so much involved in that vague statement. Social media strategy, email marketing, networking, content creation, filming, editing. Where do I even begin?
Hey, look! It's my brain.
So I decided to take a step back and just picked one piece, aka the content calendar. 30 days to do this because that's actually manageable, and over the course of that time, I can learn from it. A content calendar to start with because I need to be much more strategic about what I'm posting and when. This means that I'm deliberately not trying to solve the email marketing or networking right now. That right there is the power of scoping. Defining what you're not doing right now is just as important as defining what you are getting done right now. Now that I have the specific project that I'm working on and the actions to go with it and which ones are going to be placed on hold, I can actually break this down into subtasks. To build out my 30-day content calendar, I have to research content topics, create templates, set filming and editing time, schedule posts, and make sure that I track engagement. Each and every single piece has a clear deliverable. Research content topic means I'll be taking time to figure out what it is that my audience actually wants to see. And I'll know this step is done when I have a list of 30 different topic ideas. Next, create templates means that I am designing a format that I can reuse for different posts. I'll know that this step is done when I have 3 to 4 templates that match my brand. Setting and filming content means that I am taking the time to make sure that I capture everything that I need, edit all of it, and if this time blocking actually works for me. Schedule posts means actually putting content in a scheduling tool. Doing things 30 days out is a little bit unrealistic for me. So I'm going week by week, and when I have 7 days of posts ready and scheduled out, I know that for that week, I'm good to go. And lastly, track engagement means that I am seeing which posts performed best. This ultimately will tell me what I need to do and not do for next month. The same thing goes for exercise. Instead of exercise more, I'm scoping this as establish a consistent 4-day workout routine for 6 weeks. I chose 4 days because daily workouts consistently fail for me, but dedicating time for 4 days is sustainable with my work schedule. 6 weeks because that's enough time to actually establish a habit, but it's not so long that it feels overwhelming. Consistent means that I prep my clothes the night before, I set my alarm, get up, and arrange my living room 4 times a week. Consistency does not mean that I have a perfect workout each and every time. Some days I might only have it in me for 20 minutes, but some days I might be able to push for an hour. When you actually take the time to scope your personal projects like this, your brain can process what needs to happen instead of feeling overwhelmed. Those vague goals trigger overwhelm because your brain can't figure out the next action. Get in shape, like, okay, but what do I do with that right now? What is it that I need to exactly do to get in shape? You feel me? But specific projects give your brain a clear path. Research workout programs for 30 minutes tonight. That's actionable. Plus, you can actually finish scoped projects and feel accomplished. Exercise more literally never ends, so you never get that win. And we all know how good it feels to get a win, so make sure to give yourself one. Okay?
Okay.
We now know how to make our vague ideas into concrete scope projects. So let's shift and talk about energy management versus time management. A lot of productivity advice gets this wrong and thinks it's all about time management. But after a full day of grant deadlines and board meetings, I just don't have the same mental energy to do strategic business planning. A typical workday for me might include reviewing 3 different grant proposals, managing a stakeholder crisis, and sitting through a 2-hour board meeting where everybody has various opinions about our strategy. By the time I clock out, I physically have time, but my brain is just mush. I've literally been making decisions and solving problems for 8 hours straight. So if I try to force myself to do high-level business strategy while I am mentally exhausted, I either A, avoid it completely, or B, do a terrible job and I gotta redo it later. But I might have the energy for content creation or updating my workout schedule. This is about matching your task to your energy levels. Content creation can be energizing for me because it's allowing me to be creative and share ideas that I really want to talk about. It doesn't require the same analytical thinking as business strategy. Doing something like updating my workout schedule is just simply organizing, which is something that I can do even if I'm tired. It's a task that I can be done and it's satisfying without being mentally demanding. The key is knowing what different tasks feel like in your body. Strategy feels real heavy when I'm drained, but creative work can actually give me my energy back. To complete and keep my life projects in order, I organize them into 3 categories: high focus, medium focus, and low focus tasks. The high focus tasks require my best mental energy. Business strategy, content planning, anything involving major decisions or complex thinking. I can only do these when my brain is fresh, okay? Like fresh. Medium focused tasks need some brain power, but they aren't overwhelming. Things like filming content, planning workouts, organizing my project materials. I can do things like this after work if work wasn't too crazy. And low focus tasks are the things I can do even when I'm tired. Things like scheduling social media posts, organizing files, updating my calendar, light research. These are the things that are perfect for like Sunday evenings or after a long day of work. When I get done with the workday, I assess my energy and pick from the appropriate category. And there is absolutely no guilt about not tackling the hardest thing. I literally ask myself, how is my brain feeling right now? Am I energized or am I drained? What do I actually have the capacity for? If I'm drained, but I do a low focus task, that is still progress. It's not lazy or unproductive, it's strategic. But I can't lie to y'all, that guilt cycle used to really get me. I'd plan to do strategy work, but then I'd be too tired to do it. To then I would avoid it. To then I would feel guilty and then ultimately avoid the project altogether. But now I just pick what matches my energy and keep moving forward. As much as I want you to be attentive to your energy and time, I also want you to think about something called the priority stack method for all of your personal projects. When you have multiple personal projects, you need a way to decide what to work on. To do that, I use a priority stack. Each week, I take the time to rank my projects by impact and urgency. The problem that I started noticing that I was facing with multiple projects was decision paralysis. Everything feels important, so you're either jumping between doing all of them at one time or you're just avoiding them altogether. Stack ranking means putting them in order from most important to least important for that specific week. This is something borrowed from software development where teams have to prioritize features. Impact means how important this project matters to my long-term goals. Lady, you just ate, baby. Stop. You just ate. Chill out. Urgency means how time sensitive this project is right now. For this week, content creation has top priority because I have set deadlines. Marketing strategy is second for long-term growth. Exercise is third because it's important but flexible. Content creation for me has to be number one because I committed to posting consistently. And like I said, I have specific deadlines. If I don't create content, my audience notices immediately. Marketing strategy is second because it affects everything else that I'm building. Better marketing means more clients, more impact, and more revenue. But it doesn't have hard deadlines like content. Exercise is third, not because it's less important for my health, but because I can be flexible about when I work out. Missing or shifting a gym session does not derail anything like it would if I missed one of my content deadlines. When I have 2 hours after work, I work down the stack. If I only have 30 minutes, I stay in the top priority. With those 2 hours, I might spend 90 minutes on content creation and another 30 on marketing strategy. I'm working down the list based on how much time each priority needs. With only 30 minutes, I'm only staying focused on priority number one. It's way better to make real progress on the most important thing rather than spreading yourself thin across everything. This sort of planning removes decision fatigue. I don't have to choose what to work on because I already made those decisions. I just look at my stack and start at the top. Every Sunday, I take the time to review and restack based on the week I'm about to have. And the stack changes based on what's happening. If I have a big work presentation, maybe content creation moves to number 2 and self-care moves up to number 1. If I'm feeling sick or I'm really feeling burnt out, exercise and rest might become my top priority because without my health, nothing else matters. This isn't about perfect balance, it's conscious choice. I can't do everything equally every single week, so I'm intentional about where my limited energy goes.
A few moments later.
All right, y'all, we're almost done. I just didn't want to sit in that chair anymore once again, so here we are on my big comfy couch. No, baby. Oh, that wasn't inviting you. I'm sorry. Oh, that's the only couch that they not allowed on. I can understand how you interpret that, lady. I apologize. That wasn't an invitation. Mommy was just talking to the people. Funny enough, me shifting positions is the perfect transition into maintaining momentum when work gets crazy, because I was about to clock out and continue this video another day, but I shifted so I could keep the momentum going. See what I did there? So let's be real. Some weeks your day job will demand everything and then some under the sun from you. So with that, I have something called a minimal viable progress for each project. Something small like posting 1 piece per week for content or moving my body twice a week for exercise. For example, during a grant-heavy deadline season, I do not have the energy for ambitious personal goals, but I can maintain momentum with bare minimums. 1 piece of content per week keeps my audience engaged and keeps the project alive. It's way less than what I would ideally like to get done, but it prevents the project from dying out completely. Moving my body twice might mean 2 20-minute walks or 1 strength training session and 1 yoga session. The goal is to just not go a full week without any sort of movement. Small, consistent action beats intense, sporadic effort every single time. I track these minimums because progress over perfection. I used to do intense project sprints, something like work on my business for 6 hours straight on a Saturday. Then I would be so burnt out from it, it would lead me to avoiding it for 2 weeks. That's not sustainable. But now I track even the small actions because they add up. Posting once per week for 3 months is 12 different pieces of content. That right there is real progress. Though I may have wanted to do more, that doesn't mean that I don't acknowledge what I did get done. And we all know that the perfect conditions never come. Waiting for the perfect weekend, the perfect evening, the perfect energy level means waiting forever. Imperfect actions beats perfect inaction every single time. Okay, now I want us to talk emotions. When you work full time and you're building on the side, naturally, you're gonna feel guilty. Guilty for not working on your business, but also guilty for not taking the time to relax. It's like a competing field of guilt. Saturday morning, I'm relaxing with my coffee, but then I feel guilty because I'm not working on my business. Then I stop relaxing and I start working on my business, and now all of a sudden I'm feeling guilty because I didn't take the time to exercise. To then I stop that and start exercising, and now eventually I'm feeling guilty for not using this time for my friends and family. You see how this is like a continuous guilt cycle, and this spiral of guilt is exhausting. It's based on the unrealistic expectation that you can optimize each and every free hour that you have. Everyone building something on the side feels it. I feel it regularly, but recognizing that feeling as normal helps it not paralyze you. Now, the solution is not to try to get rid of the guilt. It's not going anywhere, unfortunately. The solution is getting comfortable with good enough. Building something while also working full time is a marathon, not a sprint. Good enough means posting content that's helpful, even if it's not picture perfect. Good enough means going to the gym even if you only have 20 minutes. Some weeks, simply maintaining is winning. If you kept all of your projects alive during a crazy work week, that is actually a huge accomplishment. Marathon thinking means I am building something over 1 to 2 years, not trying to do everything and then some in the next month. That mindset takes pressure off of each individual week. So to recap, your side projects are not failing because you lack willpower or time. They're failing because you're not managing them like actual projects. Please stop blaming yourself for not having enough motivation or discipline. The system is broken, not you, and the system can be fixed. Make sure to scope your ideas into specific projects with clear deliverables. Match your task to your current energy level. Use a priority system when you have multiple projects, and plan for minimum viable progress during busy periods. The goal isn't to become a productivity machine. It's to make consistent progress on the things that matter without burning out. A lot of the productivity culture wants us to optimize every single moment and use all your free time as much as you possibly can. But I'm telling you, that's not sustainable when you have a full-time job and a million other things to do on the side. The goal is building something meaningful over time while maintaining your sanity and your day job performance. Ooh, would you look at that? You made it to the end of this video, so thanks for watching.
Sometimes goodbyes are a bitch.
T-shirt idea. Goodbye stink.
I'm curious, what personal projects are you working on that you are struggling to execute? If you don't mind sharing, please drop all of that in the comments below. As I always say, a lot of my videos are inspired by you guys, so if anybody has any questions or topics that you would like me to dive deeper into, make sure to leave that in the comments as well. If you haven't done so already, please make sure to like, share, and subscribe. And until next time, bye y'all.